Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a final recap video for the Level Up Challenge. If you're new to my channel or didn't follow along, the Level Up Challenge is something I started 4 weeks ago back in October to try and help us feel our best, to implement some new habits in our routines, and 30 days later we are here and it is the last day of the challenge. So whether you join the challenge or not, I think you're going to enjoy this video because I am going to be going over like how I implemented the habits into my routine, which ones stuck, which ones didn't, how I'm recovering from that, what I'm doing next. This is also just going to be a chat overall about consistency, because when I was going through the Geneva group chat for this challenge, which by the way has over 200 of you in it, which is so phenomenal. I'm so happy you guys have been loving the challenge as much as I have. But when I started going through this group chat, it's kind of seemed like the overall theme to a lot of people, like why they fell off or what they were struggling with the most, is consistency. To recap the Level Up Challenge, I have my little sheet here. The day this is uploaded is actually the last day. So technically I have 2 more days to go in the challenge. But you can kind of look at my printed out sheet here and kind of see that at the beginning, this is maybe what yours looks like too. At the beginning, I was super on my habits, like the first day, all 5. And then I would miss maybe 1 throughout here. I'll go over which ones I stuck with the most, which ones I didn't. As we got to, a change in my location, that's when I found that I really fell off the most. And so I just want to show you this to say, like, I was not perfect. I wasn't expecting myself to be perfect on this challenge, but I actually got through some habits and implemented some that I know I'm gonna stick with, and I'm actually so proud because before this challenge I could never have stuck with them. So I'm gonna kind of go through those right now and we're gonna chat through my habits. And if you join the challenge, please give your updates in the comments section of this YouTube video or in the Geneva group chat. So the 5 habits that were a part of my challenge that my goal was to implement for the next 30 days were: have a head start on the day, which basically meant to wake up at a reasonable time, a bit earlier, than I maybe normally would. But I wasn't gonna say like wake up at 6 a.m. every day, because there were just situations I know that wouldn't be healthy for me. I wouldn't be getting enough sleep. So I said, like, get a head start on the day, feel prepared. The second habit was no phone in bed. So in the morning or at night before bed, I didn't want to be on my phone. The main habit I was trying to build here is not to scroll on my phone first thing in the morning and like reach for my phone off of my nightstand, because if you go back to the first video of this challenge, I explained how that was just detrimental to my mornings. Not even for the fact that like it put me in a bad headspace, because I feel like I have a pretty good relationship with social media and I actually feel really inspired usually when I go on social media. But I was just scrolling for 30 minutes to an hour, and so even if I like got up at 6 a.m., I wasn't getting out of bed till 7, or I wasn't getting out of bed till 7:45. And so it was just not good for my goal of like getting a head start on the day. And this habit was one of the hardest habits for me to break. Oh my goodness. Before this challenge, like I said, I couldn't break it for like 2 years. I'm proud to say that this was my most consistent habit, besides the days that I was home and I didn't have my Hatch alarm clock and I plugged my phone in on my nightstand at my parents' house. Those were the only days that I didn't follow through with this habit, because when I would put my phone across the room, I physically couldn't grab for my phone first thing in the morning. I had to get out of bed. And then I normally, like when I get out of bed in the mornings, I don't get back in my bed. Kind of what helped me achieve this goal is getting the Hatch alarm clock. But I've done this in the past with just normal alarm clocks. I know the Hatch is very expensive. I kind of want to do a giveaway for you all for the challenge and for Dream Daily of giving away a Hatch alarm clock and a planner. So follow the Shop Dream Daily Instagram to see when that's coming. I got the Hatch alarm clock, which I showed you guys in one of the first videos, and I was like, this is so expensive, but I got it for my birthday and everyone seems to love it. I use it morning and night. At night, I put on the white noise of like a thunderstorm, and it's just so nice, especially when you live alone. There's a lot of sounds that can kind of just happen in your apartment or outside that don't mean anything, but I would get spooked, since I'm here by myself, be like, what was that sound? So having the white noise go like while I'm reading and just trying to wind down tunes out those little noises that are just there. And then in the morning, of course, it's so amazing how it slowly gets brighter with light as you wake up to emulate a sunrise. Now that with daylight savings, it's light at 6 a.m. here, so the sunrise aspect doesn't really help as much. But for those few mornings, there was a few weeks at the beginning of the challenge where when I was waking up at 6 or even 7 some days, it was still a little bit dark out, and having that light was so nice. And the sounds of the alarm clock, I don't even pay for the subscription service with other sounds. I just use like the basic ones that are on the app, and it's so much nicer in the mornings. It's less frightening for Spruce. I get in, like when I first got him and I was using my phone, I would see him like jump in the mornings when my alarm would go off. Like it would scare him. And now it's just way calmer. It's a nice little sound. I'll like cuddle with him in bed and sometimes just let the sound play, like, because it's not really bothering me. And then when I get up, I turn it off, and it's so easy. First up was the alarm clock. The second thing that I did was plug in my phone across the room. Some people even put it in their bathroom or something, but just in case of emergency, I do like having it in the same room that I'm sleeping in. I was doing this before the challenge, but I just continued it. I keep my phone in sleep mode when I'm sleeping and for like the first hour or two in the morning. So I only get texts from like important people in my life. I don't get any other notifications. So it's really nice to just have my phone like on Do Not Disturb with that sleep setting before I go to bed and when I wake up. Okay. This next habit was the hardest one for me, which is so funny because I was not expecting that. And it was 10 minutes of silent brainstorming. I wanted to have this habit to kind of help me not just constantly be distracting myself with podcasts and YouTube or reading or music. And I kind of wanted a time to help me with creativity. I found though, just most days I was so busy and I just like didn't make the time for this silent brainstorming. Like I wanted to. So I'm gonna come back to this one. I'm gonna think on it, and maybe in like my New Year's goals and habits, I'll incorporate it again. But good to know that it's just like, it's not probably gonna be an everyday habit for me, and that's okay. My next habit was 10 pages of nonfiction. I loved this one. This was really amazing because I've been reading a great book called Deeper Than Money. I'm gonna talk about it in a financial video I'm doing soon, but I read fiction every night before bed. I have for about 2 years now. I used to read a lot of nonfiction. I kind of stopped, but this got me back on to reading it. And even just reading for a few minutes, 10 pages, was a great way to kind of get my mind in the right headspace. And then I journal directly after reading. And it's like the perfect little checklist for motivating me and getting my head like centered for the day. So I did this most days. Again, the only days I didn't do this are maybe like my super busy mornings when I was stressed and I was like, I don't have time to read, which, you know, is my own fault. Or when I was traveling and I forgot my book. And then the last habit I wanted to implement was 30 minutes of movement, which I had to be really conscious of because of this busy season. A lot of times, like my workouts, if I don't do it first thing in the morning, it's the last thing on my to-do list. And so if I have deadlines or other things I know I have to do, then I'll just get them done and not work out that day or go on a walk or anything. So although I did miss this one a few times, majority, I did get my 30 minutes of movement in. It could have been walking with a friend. It could have been, you know, 30 minutes of stretching. Some days I played golf, other days, you know, just I kind of would count different things as long as it was consistent movement for 30 minutes at least. And some of these days I found I was doing like overcompensating. Like I would do an hour workout class and then I also would go on a 30-minute walk. So that's like times 30 minutes of movement. So I feel like that kind of covers a little bit for the days that I'm not doing it. But overall, I know it's something that's really helps my mental health and my stress levels when I have that movement in my day. I just have to remind myself how important it is in the moment when I'm feeling stressed and feel like I don't have time to do it. So now I kind of wanted to talk about just some tips overall for staying consistent and what to do when you feel like you mess up or you slip up. Again, reiterating that there were a few days that I didn't do any of the habits, okay? Any of the 0 out of 5. And I feel like a tip that I keep in my head is I try not to have an all or nothing mentality when it comes to anything in my life. When I'm trying to eat healthier, I don't have an all or nothing mentality. I allow myself treats here and there. When I'm starting new goals or new habits, if I mess up or skip a day or something, it's not like I'm starting over or like I'm a failure. I just think, you know what, this is life. Life happens. Life gets in the way. Days aren't all the same. Even if you have a routine, like it can get messed up. You never know. Life is unexpected, and part of the fun of life is the unexpected. So I just know like, okay, I'll try again tomorrow. And especially like I had the added pressure of leading this challenge. And so there were a few days when I wouldn't do certain habits and I was like, Hannah, you have to get it together because you are leading this challenge. Like you are in charge of helping people feel motivated and inspired to follow with their habits. So if you're not doing your habits, like you're failing at your job. But I realized it's important for me to show you that I'm not hitting my habits every day because that's unrealistic. And I even have a job where I can make time for these habits and they're still not getting done. I choose my daily schedule and I still didn't implement the habits every day. So for all of you who maybe have a more typical job, you have kids, you have other priorities, other things you have to get done in your day, you have long work hours, like the more power to you. Because like I said, even someone who I have control over my schedule and it still didn't happen. So don't beat yourself up too hard about not hitting a day. All it means is that you can try again the next day. I wanted to share a little entry from Daniela. I hope she's okay with me sharing this. She's actually from Sweden, but she put in the group chat, so it is public in here, something that I thought was so good and I wanted to read it. So she says, "Hi there. So everything is going well except one thing, and that is painting with acrylic watercolor once a week. This season in life is just too much focus on getting well and a lot of new stuff is going on, so it is just not realistic for me. I have decided to go on with my 4 routine that I actually need and thrive from." I think she means like the 4 habits in her routine. And they're going super well. I miss 1 or 2 days on Sunday, but most part it is attainable. So her new 4 habits are yoga, meditation, 5 to 30 minutes a day, floss morning and night, and take the 21 days manifestation course and have her night routine. And she says, and today is a success. So I absolutely loved this entry because she halfway through the challenge kind of realized like, okay, with this season of my life is so busy, and I know it is busy for everyone right now. That's why I wanted to do the challenge like as soon as I had the idea, because I knew holidays get so busy. But she realized it's too busy for her to paint every day. So she said, you know what, it's unrealistic right now. I'm just going to continue with these 4 habits and do my best. Even if I miss 1 or 2 days, today was a success, and that itself is an accomplishment. So I absolutely love that. I also wanted to share something from Nicole. She says her entry in the group chat said, "I haven't stopped, just slow going." She says, "I'm still trucking along. It hasn't been perfect, but I haven't given up. I've been doing pretty decent, but definitely had some off days. I'm writing out a list now on setting myself up to win. Things like getting my prebiotic drink ready the night before, as well as getting my workout clothes out and ready the night before too. So this morning I already worked out a quick 5 minutes on a stationary bike, made myself oatmeal instead of going for a donut. My water is ready, and I'm catching up on YouTube. Hope everyone has a great day." You guys are just absolutely amazing in this group chat of how y'all are updating each other, cheering on each other. I absolutely love this. So I just wanted to share some of those things from you guys because you all inspire me, and I think inspire each other so amazingly. So I wanted to go back to say a few more things about consistency. For me, I also took the mindset of choose your battle. Like I said, it was the reading nonfiction and the waking up without my phone in the bed. So those were my battle per se. Like I wanted to make sure that even if I didn't get movement in, even if I didn't wake up super early or get some brainstorming done, I wanted to read my nonfiction book and not go on my phone. So figure out what your battle is, figure out the habit that you're like, if I just achieve this one habit, I know I will feel better and I know I will feel good, and stick with that and figure out, you know, okay, if nothing else goes right today, this habit is gonna happen, and it makes it a lot more digestible. I also wanted to say, of course, like a good part of reflection now that the challenge is over is to take note of what went right, what went wrong, which habits are worth it to you to continue in the future, which ones you maybe are going to put a pause on, maybe we'll come back to in a few months, but for right now they're not going to serve you, and which ones you're like, I hated doing this. Maybe it was your goal to do yoga every day for 30 days, you accomplished that, or you got 20 out of 30 days and you're like, I hate yoga. That's a great realization. Maybe don't do yoga anymore in your daily routine. So there could have been habits that you thought were going to be amazing for your schedule and your routine, and they just didn't work, and that's okay to let them go. Even if people say they're good habits, if they don't work for you, if you don't enjoy them, say goodbye. So a little action item for you guys to do is, if you did take part in the challenge, look at your 5 habits, look at what days you accomplished them, if you kept track of that, hopefully on your little habit trackers. Figure out which habits you're gonna stick with, which ones you're gonna put a pause on for maybe trying again in a few months or this next month, whatever works for you, and which habits you are saying goodbye to because you did them and they didn't serve you. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was very just a chatty sit down video. I wanted to just go over everything I learned with this challenge, kind of what I'm taking from it. Please let me know your results and progress and your thoughts on the challenge in the comments. I always do a New Year challenge. It's usually kind of different. It's not going to be exactly like this level up challenge, but it'll be more about like goal setting, resolution setting, vision boarding. I do that every single year. I've done it for like 5 or 6 years now on YouTube. So get excited for that along with my holiday content. I hope you guys have an amazing Thanksgiving. I know that's coming up soon if you're in the US, or just an amazing holiday season in general. And I will see you guys in my next video.